Shalom, first and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor goes to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Ba'ashem Rakaka Das, double honors to the elder apostles at Great Millstone that taught us the true citation. All Yakin pushing his word day in and day out, doing this quick lesson on Florida man film spraying opioid chemical agent out of neighbor's door, right? And this happens more often than you think, because if he didn't set up this hidden camera, this would have never happened. All right. Or this would have been never documented or never charged. All right. So this is from the dailybeast.com, and it says a Florida chemistry student. So this guy, he knows how to mix different chemical agents so that they can become deadly. All right. The same guys like him work for the FDA, work for the food industry. All right. Which is not food, man. It's GMO concoctions to kill mainly our people, Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Then you got your speckled bird Israelites who look like the other nations, but their forefathers' lineage goes back to such that I mentioned, all right, due to so-called race mixing with the patriarch being Israelites, right? So it says he was secretly recorded injecting an opioid chemical agent under a neighboring family's door, according to the report. Umar Abdullah, that name, judging by that name, it could be an Ishmaelite or a so-called West African, but let's just say that's an Ishmaelite. And his pregnant wife moved into a new condo in Tampa in June of last year. So they got a new condo, thinking that life's good, They got their neighbors' information, paying condo fees, outrageous condo fees, to not pay for anyone to cut the grass, mow the lawn, snow removal, things of that nature. Amenities, may have a gym. It's Florida, so more than likely that condo has a gym, so they're paying an outrageous condo fee for that. Which, it's better to have your own crib, man, especially in Florida. You're paying the same amount for a condo in Florida where you could get a house in certain cases, all right? You get you a little house, a townhouse or whatever, but it's best to get a single family house. If you can't afford that, get a townhouse. If you can't afford that, then, you end up in an apartment somewhere. Depending on your income, depending on your region where you live, houses are more expensive depending on your region. And enjoy the warm welcome with other residents. After their daughter was born, Abdullah's downstairs neighbor, Zuming Lee, started sending texts complaining about noise. All right. And that's this guy right here, which he was dumb to send a text. Because you leaving a paper trail, right? Including a toilet seat being moved, which was disturbing in his sleep, according to WFLA. A few months into the dispute, Abdullah and his family started getting sick, feeling groggy and vomiting. So they started feeling sick for what this gook was doing, man. And he probably kept doing it over and over again, right? And it says, a friend of Abdullah's noticed an odd chemical smell in the family's apartment. Yeah, more than likely that was a female friend, because, women, the one thing they can do better than men is they can smell better than men, all right? Like a woman has a way more sensitive nose than men. If you have a girlfriend, wife, or sisters, you know this for a fact. Even your mom, but, sometimes your mom is used to certain smells that you maybe have or doesn't complain as much. But these new bitches, they will complain about smell, man. New bitches meaning 40 and under. All right. And so, because when you're in your apartment or condo every day, you're used to certain smells that are around your dwelling place, man. But guess what? When you have a friend or a guest come over, they'll tell you they can smell odd things faster than you can, because they're not used to, your dwelling space smell, man. The odor that's coming from your dwelling place, all right? So, and after extensive investigating, the father found a small crack in his front door frame. So he's putting it in the door frame underneath the door hole, things of that nature. Abdullah says he set up a hidden camera by the door and was shocked to see. Yeah, because now you got all these spy cameras, man. You got all these spy cameras. I seen a spy camera in the fashion of a water bottle. You know what I mean? In the fashion of a water bottle. The whole time it was a spy camera, and that's just one of many. You could have a plant camera, actual that looks like an actual plant or a fake plant, and the whole time it's a camera, things of that nature. And was shocked to see his downstairs neighbor injecting liquid into the crack. Lee was arrested and charged with felonies, including possession of a controlled substance. A TPD affidavit said, man, the hazmat test found the liquid chemical agent contained opioid pain medication. He's really trying to knock their asses out. But and this is the stuff that, that these heathens were caught doing. Imagine what they doing in the air. Imagine what they spraying in the air, what they spraying on top of our households, because they've, before they tried poisoning this guy, was this guy Abdullah. He sounds like a Muslim name, so he's in the world, if that's a Jake or not, or Jake a heathen, Umar. More than likely, this is a heathen, Ishmaelite or so-called West Africans. They got a lot of Muslims, Nation of Islam followers in so-called West Africa, right? So either or, right? He ain't in the truth, but imagine for what brothers that are actually standing up for something, for a real cause, right? Go through, man. All right, but we're protected, man, by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man, to the fullest extent, man. All right, because we actually have a job to do. You know what I mean? These people are just living their lives, man, as NPCs, non-playable characters, man. They just living their lives like a video game character that's not even a main star. That's just destined to be the story. That's what they are. And heathens like this guy, man. He's going into slavery anyway, man. But where did he learn this from? The devil, the so-called white man. This is where he learned how to poison people, man. I believe, more than likely, this guy had kids and stuff. His kids could have died, man. His wife and kid, So, this guy, there's one good thing about the condo association. They'll probably find a way to get his ass up out of there or force him to sell the condo, for the acts that he did, man. If he ever sees the daylight again, but, I'm looking at the charges, possession of a controlled substance. He should be charged with attempted murder, man, terrorism, shit like that, man. Because, that show goes to show you, if this was a Jake that committed these crimes, they would have threw the book at him. Since this is a gook, a Moabite, they took it easy on the possession of a controlled substance. Hey, man. I mean, I went and got another article, and it just appears that this guy is, PhD student. I guess they haven't gotten exact charges yet because they're waiting on some lab results on what he did. But this is the gook right here, PhD student. So that means he's more than likely in his mid to late 20s at the earliest, maybe early 30s. Who knows, right? But you gotta watch these heathens, man. This is Isaiah 5:8. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place. Yeah, and that's what they did in America, man. Especially in these cities, man. I mean, in the countries you have space, but you gotta be somewhat self-sufficient. And if you do live in the country, because nearest grocery store could be 20 miles away from you, who's gonna walk 20 miles for some groceries? So you should be self-sufficient, meaning you be able to plant your own crops, you know. You got your own cattle, things of that nature, man. The way you can sustain yourself in the event your car break down or something external factors happen to where you can't make it 20 miles to the next grocery store, right? And it says, till there be no place that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth, all right? But the scriptures say, well, to them that join house to house. And that's what happens here in America. Most of the housing here in America is what? Apartments and townhouses. All those is things built house to house. Really, you're supposed to have certain space, privacy, so you're not on top of your neighbor, man. But this place, you know, they build people house to add on to the confusion, man. Really, you're supposed to rarely see your neighbors, but in this society, you see your neighbors more than you see your friends. It was just fucked up, man. It's fucked up, man. You know, it's confusion, man. You know, this is Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like its iron rust of souls is wickedness. And who's our chief enemy, man? The so-called white man. But even the rest of these heathen nations, man, Moab, Ishmael, Ham, you know, Elam, so forth, right? They are enemy, the so-called. When I say that, I mean that the natural African, the fucking Chinese, man, the Japanese, man, you know, the East Indian, the Arab, right? So forth, man. They are enemies, man. You're not supposed to trust them, man, because they the reason we in this captivity. They the one that were confederate against us, man, and helped Esau. You know, because Esau didn't do it on his own. Esau tell you, yeah, he did it on his own. He didn't do it on his own. He had the rest of these heathen nations to help him out, man. Right? Esau, of course, Esau was the chief accomplice in putting our people in captivity. He's the chief one that has us in subjection to this day, man. In captivity to this day. But, you know, he had the help of these heathen nations, man. You know, which is all ordained by the Most High, because we kept going off over and over again. Right? Though he humbled himself, go catch and yeah, take good heed of him. Yeah, you know, Esau, he'll hit you with them smooth words. You know, but you're supposed to watch him and beware of him, and thou shalt be to him if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away. So it's so-called white man's wickedness, man. You know, no matter how much he says he repent, he changed his forefathers, he's still that same devil. Right, coming back in the reincarnation, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he shall stand up in thy place. And that's what happens, man. At this moment, he's saying that he's he's a part of the 12 tribes and so forth, man. All right. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, let he seek to take thy seat. Yeah, man, you gotta be careful. Don't even, if you can, limit the amount of business information you give him, because he's gonna try to take over your business and say he the inventor of it, man. You know, you can see it with that's the whole patent and trade industry, man. You get a patent, the devil will steal from you, steal your idea and then profit off of it, man. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith, man. All right, so yeah, you're supposed to watch this devil. You know, this is Romans 12:8. If it be possible, as much as life in you, live peaceably with all men. So you're supposed to live peaceably. If you got a neighbor that says, hey, can you keep it down? Then try to keep it down. I mean, I know when I was young and dumb in my 20s. This Benjamite neighbor lived under my old apartment I used to live in, man. You know, it was like a bachelor's pad, my first apartment. So, you know, I'm playing music loud, you know, doing stuff that young people do. You know what I mean? Got the TV on full blast, you know, just being young and dumb, inconsiderate, you know, which, you know, I repented from that And yeah, I remember, he used to be beating on the ceiling walls, boom, 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 mad that I used to play my shit loud, which, just cut it down, man. Cut it down a little bit. It don't hurt. You're still gonna hear the same music or the same TV, the same video games, the same sports. It's still gonna sound the same, just at a lower decibel, because, this is hell. People gotta work, people got kids, people got a family. But they ended up moving, you know what I mean? Which hey. But when they moved, I think a police officer moved after that, man. You know what I mean? So, you make one neighbor move and you end up having a worse neighbor. That's what happened to me. An even worse neighbor as a police officer. Lived at it, so I couldn't play my shit loud at all. I was watching everything I was doing when he was there, man. But, hey, even with that cop, devil, I even live peaceably with him. I see him, I say, what's up? That's it. Say hi and bye. You ain't gotta befriend him, go to the bar with him, nothing. Kick it with him. Watch again. You ain't gotta do none of that. Just hi and bye. All right. This is Mark 16, and I'm gonna start at 18. They shall take up servants, and yeah, this is what happened to us to this day, man. Because people try to poison us. Not only the air, but even our food and drinks, man. They shall take up servants, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. Yeah, so, people try to spike our drinks for certain things, man. That's why we gotta watch our surroundings to our fullest, man. Watch who make our food, watch who make our drink. It shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover, man. So it goes to show you, even the way we living now, going to work, going home, we even have the power now. It's not the maximum spiritual power, but we do have the power because we've been spiked, we've been served old food. They done tried it all to take us out. Esau's a damn devil. We got agents surveillancing us, man. That's why, it's good to know your surroundings, know at least one person where you like to frequent, because he'll help you spot out the agents. Like, because I was at the gym yesterday, and it was this big booty nigga woman, like huge booty. I was like, God damn, like kind of like the speed how I like him. And I don't know, she was just being a demon, you know what I mean? Like her attitude or demeanor, like, it was just way too serious for a woman. So, like, the man who I knew in there, he gave her a compliment. She didn't even smile. So that was my first red flag, you know what I mean? And then I asked him if he'd seen her before, because she had walked in there right after I did. And he's like, nah, he ain't never seen her. So I was like, okay, that's how I know that's her agent. She sent the spy on me, man, because this is a place I typically go to. I haven't been going as much recently, but the Spirit had me go for the first time in a couple, 2-3 weeks the other day. And then as soon as I come back, is the agent in there. But she wasn't the first agent. There's been multiple agents I spotted in there, but she happened to be the one that I marked. Like, okay, yeah, that's an agent, man. Because they got to know everything we do. Esau's a damn devil. He got to have a daily log of everything, everywhere we go, everything we do, who we're around, things of that nature, all right? So, definitely, brothers, be circumspect. Like Scripture even says, be circumspect. Watch your surroundings, man, all right? Watch who you interact with. Okay, so till next time, shalom.